Hi, and welcome to Rise and Shine, Creating 2020 Vision, day 22 of our series and day 2 of our emotions conversations. And I'm really excited to have here with me today, Asmaa Methqal. Thank you.
Love it. Hi, Kim. Hi, everyone. So excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here today. And so we were experiencing, some temporary tech things, and here we are. And I just want to bring it back to, before I even give the intro, Asmaa is all about fire and flow. And I feel like that's what we're in today. It's the fire and flow day. So let me share with you a little bit more about who Asmaa is and what she has, what she brings to the world. So she is a soulful change maker, transformational coach, business strategist, and an advocate of feminine leadership. She is passionate about empowering women to uncover, speak, and live their unfiltered truth. And you can connect with her on Instagram at Instagram.com, the _ I am Asmaa _ Welcome, Asmaa.
Thank you for the intro. Hi, Kim.
Hi. You know what? Let me ask you, this is something that as an interviewer, I should have asked you this before we went live, but I want to make sure, because I bet our viewers, they may be having the same question. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Sure. It's Asmaa Methqal.
Thank you. Asmaa Methqal. Great. Okay. Fantastic.
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. And thank you for understanding. So we are having, we have been doing this for the last 10 weeks and 21 shows so far, talking all about, thank you. It's amazing.
Celebrate.
Absolutely. I'm amazed how far we've come already in this conversation, and so grateful, because I really feel like, although each element of these creating 2020 vision conversations is very key. So we started off talking about vision. Then we went into mindset. And then now we're in the emotions section. And then last, we're going to move into action. Each one of these is so important. And I feel like the emotions is really the heart of it all.
It sure is. It sure is.
Yeah. So, it's so good. It's so good to be able to dive into this, have it, to have such a meaty conversation, and especially with someone who knows all about this and is going to be speaking to feminine leadership. So, Asmaa, first, before we get into our, the whole conversation about emotions and how that really supports a person in moving forward, will you tell everyone just a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So I am Asmaa, and I'm really I went deeper into uncovering who I am as a woman and what is my dharma, what is my soul purpose, more than just my life purpose, last year. And then I realized that I am here to really help to create a harmony between our fire and our flow. And that means that a lot of us are leading just from one side of our body and our emotions, which is that fire, that masculine energy. We both have feminine and masculine, like all genders do. But we mostly work from that masculine, which is the chasing and the accomplishments and the validation and what's next? What do I need to do next? Versus staying in this beautiful feminine, allowing ourselves receptivity and the spaciousness and the softness, and being in our flow and connecting more and feeling more versus just doing. And when I was able to create that balance for myself, I've seen huge change in my life and more success than I've had before. And it was just so interesting to experience that. So I want a lot of other people, give them that awareness about it and help them get into that flow state faster, while they basically uncover who they truly are within themselves.
Oh, I love that. I love every aspect of what she just said. So for those who are with us live or on the replay, yes, please do say hello.
Nice to see you.
And let us know, even just based on what Asmaa has already said about the masculine and the feminine and finding that balance and that flow, what comes up for you when you think about that? And, I'm excited. We're going to dive into the emotions here. Okay. So let's get into that. I love when I start these conversations and I just feel this, this opening of energy. Yeah. Okay. So Asmaa, let's just dive into that right now. So when you think about it, let's start generally. So when you think about emotions and how they support a person in moving forward, what first comes to mind for you?
One of the first realizations that I've made is that there are over 3,000 different types of emotions in the dictionary, and the normal person knows only 12.
Wow.
And so for me, like the first way for us to learn who we are is to identify more what exact emotion we're feeling, right? Because between being feeling anger or feeling grief or like there's different types of emotions that are out there, and we are just limited to I love, I hate, I am angry, I am excited, I am joyful, I am content, but there are way more. And so that for me like was a big aha. And so I usually try to literally just read the dictionary and try to read all the different types of emotion and just really try to describe them. And when I'm writing an email to someone or when I am having a conversation, I really sit with myself and really connect to what is that exact emotion I am feeling and why I'm feeling it, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about us and how we are feeling. But if we're always here and we don't drop into our heart, into our body, then we are disconnected, right? So we're not
Yep.
able to feel. And so the feminine is all about feeling more, right? It's more about dropping into the body and trying to translate what those emotions are and what they're saying, right?
That is so good. And I want to point out that, and I'd love for you to speak to this as well, but I just want to identify first, today's conversation isn't just for females.
No.
Yeah, we all have the masculine and the feminine within us. And would you like to say something more about that?
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, when we talk about feminine and masculine, it's basically the polarities of the energies that we have within our own body. So it has nothing to do with gender. And now we know like the gender is so diversified, like in today's world, right? But we're really just trying to simplify types of emotions that have been scientifically proven that male have more or female have more of, and some of the female and feminine emotions and trait get put down with the patriarchy world. And now we could feel like there's this beautiful rise of the feminine. And there's a reason for that, because we people want to feel more connected. They want to feel seen and appreciated and heard. It's not common. Like that has been since we were like come into this world. We want to feel connection and we want to feel that sense of belonging. And so those are natural feminine traits. And so when I talk about feminine leadership is I don't have to give permission, but it's like I feel I need to give permission to women to feel and be in their natural state and own that. And I'm like an example of that. I was wearing a masculine shield and a masculine mask for 4 years. Like that's how I get to the success that I got. And I got to the level that I wanted to get because I wanted to prove everybody wrong and I can do it on my own. I don't need anyone. But then when I got to the end and I got to the pole, I was like, that's it. I'm miserable.
Oh,
What's this? This is not it. So at that moment, again, when we go to emotions, I felt successful, but I didn't feel fulfilled. And that's a huge difference. And so,
yeah.
right? And so from there, I said, my definition of success is peace of mind and fulfillment. Not like that constant chase, but really have that peace, waking up like slowly and like appreciating what I'm doing and like enjoying it, like not having someone's urgency, my emergency.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Okay, so good, so good. And so what one of the first thoughts that was coming to mind, or first visuals I was getting as you were speaking, is really that when you're in that masculine state, which is fantastic and incredibly valuable, just as the feminine equally, but there's a cap. If that's what you're predominantly in, and not allowing more of the other side to come in and balance it out, you reached a cap. You were successful, but not fulfilled. And so what did tapping into your feminine help you with and your success wise?
Yeah, well, definitely a lot of things. So going back to what you just said, it's like we just access one side of us, one part of us that we've been preconditioned to have. And I just see here, Cara said that she's been stepping into her divine feminine. Yes, girl, so excited for that, right? And so it's really about like, so when I did it for me, like going giving my example, I'd slowed down. I chose to slow down.
Okay.
And when I decided to slow down, I said, okay, I want to go and discover who is Asma beside being a marketer and a strategist and a business person, because that was my role. That's who I was the whole time. So I forgot who I truly was within. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to start dating myself, and I'm going to start knowing who I am and feeling more and connecting to my feelings and not being afraid of them. And that's the main key. Like a lot of people's like, no, I need to be wearing this mask and I need to be doing the things because I know the moment I'm going to slow down and go deep within, like stuff will come up and I'll have to deal with that and I'm not ready. So people close the cap. But when you are in your feminine, like you're opening it and slowly. And one of the Kyle C's quote that I love, he always says, what shows up for you, what's ready to be let go of. So it only shows up in your reality because it's ready to be let go. So like that feeling or that emotion or that experience or that pain or that trauma, whatever that experience is, it's really there for you in that exact moment for you to witness it, for you to stay with it, for you to be with it. So that way it can be let go of, right? So you're not doing it from this place of anger, I need to crush you and you're
Right.
gone, but it's more like I'm embracing you. You made me who I am, because most of our shadow like is really what brings us into our light, right? Like I love another quote. I'm gonna say so many
Yeah,
quotes,
go
but
ahead, go
like
ahead.
one of my quotes that I love from Lady Gaga is like, if you don't have if you're not stepping into like the light, you need to have shadows. Like the only way for you to step into the light is that you have
Ooh.
shadows, right? So it's really embracing that both side. So going back to your question, when I stepped into my feminine and I start feeling more, that's what I was able to uncover my soul purpose, which
Nice.
is huge. And now I work with a lot of women, helping them launch their dream business from their feminine power. Or I help business executives tap more into their feminine leadership in the way they lead in their organizations or companies. And here's the kicker. Once I go deep within them and I start working into identifying their essence, or I call it their feminine genius, it's feminine. And then they're like, most of them are surprised, like, oh my God, I thought I have a trait that was masculine. Like I am focused and I'm driven and this.
Oh,
But then when we
wow.
start uncovering and they're like, I am nurturing. I am all about connection. I am heart. I am passionate. And they start crying because they're like,
Oh,
I've been this my whole life. And I just didn't, why did I not see that? And they start
right.
getting mad at themselves. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's be in our feminine, feel it. That's okay. The awareness showed up at the right moment. And so it is this very interesting dance. It's really interesting because I have the other women that just like, what do you mean I'm not feminine? I'm like, whoa, that's not what I'm saying, right? I mean, they're not ready, right? I'm like, okay, like, so true. If someone told me this 5 years ago, I'm like, whoa, not interested, right?
Uh-huh.
So you need to be ready for it. But I love now that a lot of women are tapping into their feminine, they are feeling the energy, they're becoming like spiritual more, like they are awakening slowly, they're seeing the shift that's happening in the world, they can feel what the world is calling for. It's calling
Right.
for connection, it's calling for belonging, it's calling for appreciation, for collaboration, like we're doing right now.
Yes.
Like, you know.
And so what I hear is like, first off, I can imagine someone saying, I'm resonating with what she says, but I don't want to tap more into that because I want to continue to be as productive as I am and as powerful as I am. And you will be. The feminine is not going to take anything away from the masculine. It's going to enhance it and refuel it. To me, that's what helps sustain and continue the masculine being able to create and produce and all of that. When you're fueled by who you know that you are authentically, on a deeper level. So I love that we're having today's conversation because this is so much. Yeah. Okay. So, so quick moment to, I guess, yes, again, say hello to all of our live viewers. We've got Helene and
Hi,
Kara
Hi.
and Sinead. It looks like Helene is saying hello to Sinead. So awesome to see all of you here with us today. Kara is saying, speaking my language. Yes, Kara, I know we are. And so I'm so glad you're here today as well. So, okay, you have another great quote I want to share with everyone. When I asked Asmaa, what's an empowering quote that you can share with us today? She said, "Your unpopular truth brings so much light into the world." And is that an Asmaa original?
I wish. No.
Oh, it's not? Okay. Do we know who said that?
I can find it for you and post it. No, I think I was just listening to something or a podcast, and
Okay.
I have this note on my phone. It's called "What Did I Learn Today?" I've been having it for 5 years. Literally,
Nice.
every time I'll hear something, I'll just go straight to my note and write it down. So now that I have this big stack of quotes, that's just like that little reminder for me. So this one just showed up very strongly in this moment. So maybe I'll think Kyle Cease may have said that one if I have to guess. But yeah, when I read that one, I was like, so true, so true.
What comes up for you when you think of that quote? I'm going to say it again. Your unpopular truth brings so much light into the world. And for our audience today, let us know in the chat what comes up for you when you hear that quote.
Oh, a lot. A lot of us, especially women, we're hiding. We're not speaking. We think that we are broken. We think that we have nothing to bring to the world, or because we are in this state of giving to so many people that we are feeling depleted. So
Yes.
that's so not tired, depleted. So see you playing with the emotion and finding the right word. So when I tell women you feel depleted, they're like, oh, yes, that's I'm not tired, because when they think tired, they think it's lazy. They're like, no, your energy, your soul is depleted because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so a lot of the women and also men, like they're like, oh, I have nothing to bring to the world. My story is not that important. Like nothing happened into my life that was like this big thing that I will inspire people. But that's not true. Like anything that did happen to you, like anything that you think is your shadow, like anything that you don't like about yourself, brought you to be who you are. And so you, by sharing that unpopular truth about yourself, becomes your message to the world and become the light that we bring into the world. Like it connects very closely to the other quote, your mess is your message.
Yes.
Right. So it's really close to that. So I love that, because then people really connect with that. Okay, the more I feel, the more I am uncovering my pain, my trauma, my experiences, the more I'm also taking responsibility of my own life and my own triggers.
Yes.
The more then I am able to translate that into words or into stories, that when I'm sharing those, I am maybe bringing light or inspiration or motivation to another woman, to a family member, to a friend, to someone or someone I don't even know, just like by me sharing my voice, that will really like bring them and give them light, so that way they can shine and you can lift them up as well.
Absolutely. When you feel it, you could have the opportunity to then heal it, to release it. Absolutely. So I want to put an image, actually, let me share first. So when I asked Asmaa, what is her 2020 vision? She said, 2020 is the year of focused and aligned actions for me to bring fire and flow to the world and to use my voice to support over 5,000 women to connect to their feminine power and lead from within. My definition of success for 2020 is joyful creativity with exponential impact. And Asmaa, is that still the current vision? Is there anything you'd like to add to that or tweak to that, or is that still the same?
It is still a beautiful vision. Yeah, I'm loving it. And I love the creativity piece. And I love that I wrote that word, because creativity is feminine. And it is very interesting. I got to this state now, I think, with my own connection to my feminine power or my feminine energy, that I will literally start having tension headache on the left side of my body, which is the feminine side, when I am like filling my to-do list. Like when I slip into my masculine, I was like, do, I need to finish these. Like I will have tension headache that will put me out of work for like a day or two. It's like my body telling me, no, like we need balance. So step into your feminine again. So it's like very like interesting that you start translating the words of your body and the emotions, and your body start really like, you start like listening to the messages, because our body gives us messages like 100%. I can talk an hour about experiences in that. So when I use the word creativity, like that's like my success, it's creative expression. It is so true. That's so feminine. Like, and the creativity can be anything from singing, from dancing, from drawing, from cooking, anything that has to do with creating something from scratch. Even like having a point blank and just writing 1 or 2 sentences, like that's creativity. And as women, we have unlimited creativity within us. Like we create humans, for God's sake.
I
right?
know, right?
Like,
okay, so I love that you mentioned earlier that there's over 3,000 feeling words in the dictionary. So in thinking of your vision, would you be open to just, defining like what are 3 feeling words that you connect with when you tap into what your vision feels like?
okay. I feel energized. I feel grateful. I feel I feel grateful. I feel joyful. I feel calm. And I feel proud.
Oh, Asmaa, that is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. And to me, that is so important to identify what the feelings are. Most coaches know this. I know you know this. And for our audience, it can take some time to get into that space of really identifying what are the feeling words of what I'm seeking, what I'm creating, what I'm moving towards. When you can identify those feeling words, then it's easier to move into that direction and to also know when you're getting closer to it, because you know what it's already feeling like. And as you move to it, you're creating it and stepping into it and all of that. You're feeling that flow. Mm-hmm. And I love how you allowed yourself to just pause and tap into it. She didn't force anything. And then did you notice her 4th feeling word was proud? Thank you for being brave and courageous enough to own that and say, yes, I'm proud of this vision. Absolutely. I just love that. Thank you for doing that. So
yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, it is very interesting, because when you tap into your feelings and you really doesn't know if it happened or it didn't happen yet. And so you are training your body and your mind with it to recognize that feeling and to want more of it. Why most of us love to eat like bad food that is not good for us? Because it feels good. And our body craves that, and it wants that feeling of feeling good. But if you're able to connect your vision to feelings and emotions that are juicy and delicious and coming from that feminine and exciting and really true to you, then you'll be able, like, your body will want more of that. And then the universe will also help you to be able to create that vision faster because it feels good. Right? So your vibration, because you're feeling a high, your vibration is high. And if your vibration is high, you'll be attracting more people that are in that same vibration that can help and support you.
I've found that a lot of times, even just being able to identify what is that feeling word opens the portal to more. It's like when we can't define certain things that we're looking for, we're just kind of continuing to hit a wall and bumping into things we don't really move in the direction that we really want to go. So when you can define that, it helps so much. And I want to highlight here, Nori I think she's responding to the question I asked earlier. She says, it brings up the motivation to me to be full out, no holding back. Absolutely. And Nori knows all about feeling into your body and tapping into that for sure. So Asmaa, let's see here. Let's do a couple of things. We're nearing the end of today's conversation. And I would love to pull a couple of cards to just enhance the message. And then, of course, I have my fun question for you at the very end. I'm going to ask, and we love that. So I'm actually going to pull a card from the self-love deck. And while I'm doing some light shuffling, let me ask you, has self-love been part of your journey in being able? Yeah. Okay. Would you like to say a few words about that?
I have a self-love practice that I do every night in front of the mirror for the past 2 years, and it's non-negotiable. I never miss it one night, and I'm very happy to share that practice. I basically say 4 things. I look into the mirror and I say, I love you, Asma. So basically, I love you and say your name. And I know it's really hard for a lot of people. I love you, Asma. I love you. I love you. And then you say, I am proud of you today for, and I'll list 3 things that I did today that I'm proud of. And then after that, it's like, I forgive you for, and you sit 3 things that you were not able to do or that you promised or anything like that, because we are in this space of forgiveness. And then your name, Asma, I commit to you. And then what is your commitment that you're going to make in for tomorrow? So what that creates is this beautiful relationship with yourself, and looking into the mirror, you're able to forgive yourself for anything, and you're able to connect to all of who you are and committing to yourself again. So I feel I consider that like this practice is very powerful. A lot of my clients do them too, and they see a big shift like in their life when they started. Because it's just a connection with ourselves. And for a lot of women, they're like, I cannot look into the mirror. I'm like, that's okay. Then just say it to yourself, flip the camera, like do whatever it feels right for you, close the lights, whatever. At some point, you'll get to that place. And every stage where you're at, that's totally okay. We're all in different self-love journey. But that's very feminine. So tapping our feminine is loving ourselves for who we are. Yes.
That is a beautiful exercise. And I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us. So, okay, so I'm going to pull a couple of cards. I have one that popped out already, but I'd love if you would actually, I'll be shuffling and you just go ahead and tell me when to stop, and I'll pull the card that's on top. Okay, so.
Stop.
Okay, so.
I love them doing this like live. It's so cool.
Okay, so the card, this is beautiful. Okay, so this was the card that was on top. It says, my mind is a powerful healing tool. And the back of it says, every day I choose to send loving, healing energy to the planet. What I do with my mind does make a difference. And so, Asma, do you want to say something about that? Would you like to add to that?
It is very interesting that we're talking about the mind that is healing, is the healing tool. Because a lot of people are like, oh my God, I need to do this mindset and I need to do this. What this brings me back is one quote from Jim Rohn, where he said that you need to stay guard of your mind in terms of the negative self-talk.
Yes.
And so one of the best thing we can do for ourselves is learning to be aware of our own negative self-talk, like automatic negative talks, like we call them ants, right? Like the ants, like in your mind, and just like really be aware of them and like stay in guard of those. Because the moment you're able to do that and you're able to connect the feelings of your vision with your mind, and when we said earlier that your mind doesn't know what's true and what's not, then your mind will help you, and it will work in connection and in harmony with your body when you're feeling and with your spirit to get you closer to that emotion. And when you're staying in that place, I think that's when the mind becomes a healing tool, because it's working in accordance and in harmony with your body and with your heart. Yeah.
I love that. And so I'll be honest, when I first saw this, I was like, healing tool, yes. And then I realized it was highlighting the mind. And it's like, well, wait, we're talking about emotions. We're talking about, kind of, getting away from, not completely stopping this, but shifting into the heart, right? And connecting that space. So you're not, like you were talking about earlier, right? We're not disconnected at that. Mm-hmm. And what I would like to say is, if you're thinking, what, that's too much of a change, of a contrast of, you're not used to that, that feels uncomfortable. What if you start to shift your mind into saying, you know what, we can start to open up to that. We can start to embrace that. We're going to allow our mind to start to see the heart a little more and allow the mind to support you in that connection piece. That's what came up for me when I saw this. And
Well,
go ahead. Yeah.
that is very interesting because I didn't want to leave this call without saying something important. A lot of people make a difference between saying, I am sad, I am angry, I am proud, versus saying, I feel. Like people a lot of the time connect their identity to the emotion.
Oh, that's
And
so
I think with this, using your mind as a healing tool, where the tool is exactly this. And when you are talking, say, I feel. I feel, like you saw earlier when I was talking, I was saying, I feel, and I said, I am proud. I said, I feel proud when I think about my vision, right? And so when you start using this tool of like, I feel when I think, you are able like to create neural pathway in your mind where it's able like to connect the emotion with the assumption. Because the truth is everything that we feel and we think is an assumption, especially if other people, until we confirm that assumption. And so it is quite powerful. And so, yeah, so this little tool connected with that, use your mind as healing tools, like shift it from identity to emotion and really try to discern what each one is, and you'll be able to connect. So
that is a powerful shift. Thank you for pointing that out. I love that. Okay. So guess what other card fell out? I didn't see it until, you know, after we were already looking at the cards. The other,
abundance.
the other card that came out is I accept all of myself.
Yes.
The back of it says, the work I do on myself is not a goal. It is a process, a lifetime process. I choose to enjoy the process. I love that for this conversation.
That is exactly the process for women to tap into their feminine power, and for men who choose to do that as well for themselves, because there's a beautiful harmony. It's all about the harmony of the fire and the flow.
Yeah. That dance, you know, it's not about gender. It's about the flow, the balancing of the two within yourself and allowing for them to exist, right?
Exactly.
Man,
Well, to allow them to witness them and to access them and activate them and allow them, because they're all part of you. You were just preconditioned to use one side versus the other, but they're all part of you. So delve deeper and go within. And I love to use the word harmony and not balance, because sometimes I will meet men that are 70% feminine and 30% masculine, and other women, if they are in their true nature, maybe they are 60% masculine and 40% feminine, right? So like everyone is different when they go deeper into their essence, but it's just recognizing when I want to be in my feminine or in my masculine. And also like we can go even deeper in terms of like light and shadow, wounded or healthy, like feminine or masculine, but just recognizing that piece of who you are and just like doing that dance with yourself, right?
That's a wonderful distinction. Yes, absolutely. The harmony of it. Beautiful. Well, okay. We have neared the end of today's conversation. Real quick, before I ask you the very last question, Asmaa, will you remind everyone where they can go to connect with you after today's conversation?
Yeah, my website is iamasmaa.com, and I am active on Instagram _ I am Asmaa, ASMAA _ or on Facebook. I'm available on Facebook too. So you're all welcome. Let's keep this conversation going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And hello to Sue Lee and everyone else who has joined us since we started today. So Asmaa, here we go. The final question of the 30 minutes. Would you be open to making up a random song with the word emotions in it?
Well, it's gonna be hard to make a song, but like I can try and like make a poem maybe.
Oh, okay. We're all for that.
Okay, just like on the spot, do that now. Okay. Every woman is a beautiful being. Every man is an incredible warrior. We all have this untapped power within all ourselves. Emotions are the way to be. Emotions are the way to feel. Emotions are our way to heal. Let's connect to our beauty, to our love, to our connection, to our own harmony. Let's dance it out. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, dance!
awesome. Thank you. That was fantastic. And I love that you threw the energy of the dance in there.
Yes. I was in the flow, and then let's fire it up.
That was good. That was so good. Okay, wonderful. Well, Asmaa, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your wisdom and expertise. This was lots of fun. I love that we were able to go deep, and absolutely we could talk about this for days. I am right there with you on that. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for everyone who was active and talking with us. This was awesome.
Absolutely. And thank you to everyone who was with us today. Remember, your emotions are information. And Asmaa gave us so many ways to look at this about how it adds to your flow, how it helps sustain you, nourish all that creation that you do. And it's simply about finding that harmony. I love that you pointed out that word, that harmony between your masculine and feminine, regardless of your gender. It's not about gender. It's about the harmony of those energies within you that are in each and every one of us. So I hope you found this conversation helpful. Let us know what you're taking away from the conversation. We're going to be back again on Monday with another Rise and Shine, Creating 2020 Vision Emotions conversation. It's all about you moving in the direction of what's important to you, really aligning with that, connecting with that, and allowing that flow to move through you. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.